Hey everyone, Walter Crosby with Helix Sales Development, your host of Sales and Cigars. My guest today is Rebecca Whitman, and she's a life coach. But before you decide you don't need a life coach, and I'm not suggesting you do, she's got a really cool challenge that she's making available to us. We describe it in the conversation. We talk a lot about sales. We talk about her history. We talk about some great ideas on things that entrepreneurs should be thinking about that's going to help them become more financially successful. That gets us is freedom. So go grab a cocktail, go grab a cigar, strap in for another impactful episode of Sales and Cigars. Everyone, welcome to Sales and Cigars. My guest today is Rebecca. Rebecca, can you, why don't you give like a quick little entrepreneurial journey? How'd you get to doing what you're doing right now? Like when you were a 10-year-old young lady, did you think that this is what you'd be doing?
I did not. My childhood dream was always to be an actress, and I went on a very merry chase as an entrepreneur. I graduated from Princeton. I moved to New York City. I answered an ad that said "Circle Me," and I fell into the network marketing industry in my 20s, which it did not work out, but it was a wonderful learning experience. I got to learn from self-made millionaires all about sales and sales management. From the network marketing profession, I was a Ford car salesperson in Jacksonville, Florida, of all places, not where you usually see a Princeton grad selling cars, in Jacksonville, Florida at Mike Davidson Ford. And from there, I found the internet and I got discovered by an internet startup company. They did a 2-word search on monster.com, sales in Princeton, and they found me. And I had my first 6-figure job there. And when the company shut down, I moved to LA to pursue acting. And I had a lot of free time. So I studied a lot about the law of attraction, and I was able to apply the law of attraction to my sales job as a director of admissions of an acting school. And I started making 6 figures working part-time. And what happened was the law of attraction did not work as well in my love life. And I ended up having a really painful divorce. And as my divorce was proceeding, my dad was dying. And in one of our last conversations, he asked me to write a book. I had no idea what I was going to write. A few months later, I was sitting across the desk from my financial planner, and he said, "Rebecca, you've lost your dad in your marriage, but this year you're actually a millionaire with your investments because I own real estate and I have a stock portfolio." And he said, "I think you should write a book inspiring people what you did." So I wrote a book called How to Make a 6-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And in the book, I divide life into 7 key areas, which I call my 7 pillars of abundance. And when you have those 7 key areas of life, you can be resilient and bounce back from anything, be it personal, health, or financial. And that's my story now. I coach people to go from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant.
So it's a very eloquent entrepreneurial journey that kind of walks you through not just the geography but the mindset shifts and the roles as they change as we grow. So I mean, through that journey, tell me something or tell me a story about a situation that where it looked like it was the end of the road. There was a big problem, it was failure, and then we turned that into success. Sounds like there are a bunch of those.
There's a lot. I remember doing that network marketing company, and I like to say it was the best looking group of well-dressed broke people because we would go to the office and give our sales presentations, and we'd be wearing nice suits and driving, Mercedes and Lexus and BMWs. And then we would come back and be sharing a 1-bedroom apartment with like 8 people eating peanut butter and rice cakes for dinner. And I had some beautiful jewelry that my mom gave me. And it was either quit the network marketing profession or sell my mom's jewelry. And I ended up selling my mom's jewelry. I hung in there. There was 100,000 people in that company. It's now closed. And I remember being at the annual meeting, and they called me up on stage for number 3 in the company for personal sales volume. And I was like shocked. I didn't even think anybody in the company knew me. I just kept putting my head down and doing the grind day in and day out. And that is a story that I look back on a lot when I want to quit something. And I realize that if I can just, whatever it takes just to stay in the game, just stay in the game, do my daily methods of operation, be consistent and persistent, and eventually my efforts will be rewarded.
There's it's putting your head down is a term I use a lot. Just being tenacious,
Yeah.
it's sticking to it. We might have lived in New York City around the same time. And there was, in my life, it was something similar where it's like, why am I doing this? I'm not making any money. This is like, completely commissioned, straight out of college, living in like a studio apartment with a great view of an air shaft, right? Coming up in the middle of the building. But it was what you just described. Just keep doing the work that I was told I was supposed to do by the guys that were, being driven around in limos. And then it just starts to boom. It just starts to happen. I don't know that it gets easier, but it gets more comfortable, I think, if you stick with it, because you never know when that one phone call, that one meeting is going to turn it around. And that's a great failure to success story. I love it.
Thank you.
If you think about an investment you made, like what would be the most worthwhile investment you made over the last few years?
The best investment I ever made. So I'm a little different than your typical guest. I'm like metaphysical meets business. So I believe in the law of attraction. I call
Mm-hmm.
myself the magnetic abundance mentor. I believe that I magnetize opportunities. And I was renting in Los Angeles. I had not purchased anything. And I remember going out to a club in Manhattan Beach, and it wasn't like, hey, where are you from? What's your sign? It was like, hey, do you rent or do you own? And I was like, wow. I mean, I was getting this message from everyone like, the goal is to own real estate. And I was like in my 30s, I was like, oh, wow, I better start paying attention to how I can own real estate. And on the porch of this really beaten down house I was renting. I mean, it was so beaten down that I got rained on in my own bed. Like the roof was leaking. I got a flyer and it said that, real estate person is available, call this number. And I was like, okay, I'll call. This guy had never sold anything in his life. He barely spoke a word of English. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give this guy a shot. And he found me a condo in West LA, right off Wilshire Boulevard, for only $150,000. Now, this was in 2003. And that was an incredible investment. Now it's probably worth $800,000, that same place. But I sold it. I made a couple $100,000 profit a few years later. And then I put that down on another condo. And then I pulled the equity out of this condo, did another one. And now I have a duplex. And it all started from that first investment. And had I not answered the flyer on my porch, I don't know if I ever would have been in the real estate game like I am now.
It's interesting, like somebody was doing the thing that we just talked about, putting their head down and going, sticking flyers on doors of houses where, if it's a beat up old house where you get rained on in your own bedroom, you probably need real estate, but high probability of somebody pulling the trigger on something, but they just did the work and it pays off. That person made a sale.
Yeah.
If we think about like the last couple of years, right? Last 3 or 4 years, where you developed a new belief, or you took on a new discipline of something. You seem like somebody who's really focused on, what your thoughts are, is those are going to come back to you in that magnetic way, as you described. Is there anything new that you've tried, developed, that's really helped you take it to the next level?
That is a great question. So I teach that you either have an abundance mentality or a scarcity mentality. And I was thinking that was just money for so many years. Like, people have a scarcity mentality around money. Like, there's not enough money to go around. There's not enough money to pay my bills. I have too much month left over at the end of my money. And I got that. But just this year, I volunteered 200 hours of my time to coach a leadership program. And I didn't think I had the time. I didn't think I had the energy. And I learned a concept that I can have a scarcity or abundance conversation around energy.
Hmm.
I was saying to myself, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted, I need a coffee, I didn't get enough sleep. There's just, too many things I want to do and not enough hours in the day, and I don't have time. And I had a scarcity conversation around time and energy. And when I started to say to myself that there's plenty of time, I have plenty of energy, I stopped using the word tired, exhausted. I was able to coach that leadership program and up level my businesses, and I've never had more energy. I started waking up an hour earlier and doing what I call power hours, meaning very focused, productive hours of time. And I would start my first power hour at 7 a.m. and then go to the gym. Like, everything changed when I changed my internal dialogue around time and energy, and was
Hmm.
very conscious to switch that to there's plenty of time. When I am committed to something and I really want something, time and energy expand.
Hey, thanks for being part of the Sales and Cigar community. I wanted to share that I wrote a book, The 7 Critical Mistakes CEOs Make with Their Sales Organization. The CEOs who've read it tell me I cut to the chase quickly, get to the point, explain exactly what they're experiencing, why they're experiencing it, and how to fix it. So if you want a free copy, go check out the link in the show notes. Now let's get back to the interview. It has everything to do with what we say to in our own head, right? That gets us to go down a path. If we ask our brain a shitty question, excuse my
Yeah.
language, we're going to get a shitty answer. And
Yes.
if we figure out, how can we do this? How can I help these people? How can I give? You're going to figure out a way to do it. And that's a great story. Just being able to help other people and help yourself at the same time. That's like win-win-win
Yes.
in my mind. If you think about other quote unquote experts in your space, and we don't need to name names or anything, but is there a piece of advice that you hear people putting out on social media or just out into the world, and it's just awful and it's counterproductive? I'll kind of help you with this. In my world, there's all of these fake gurus that are telling people that cold calls don't work, or email campaign, right? That specific things no longer work. The world has changed, and nothing works and everything works, right? It's a function of whatever we put our mind to, as you just said. I mean, that's a perfect example. So, I mean, those are the things that sort of just irritate the crap out of me when I hear somebody telling salespeople that they shouldn't get on the phone and talk to people, because we're all humans, right? That's how we interact. Is there anything in your world, in your space, that kind of grinds those gears?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in creating a side hustle, and I believe in multiple income streams. And a lot of business coaches, they have you buy a high ticket program, anywhere from, I don't know, they go anywhere from ten to $80,000. Max out your credit cards, quit your job. You got to burn the bridge to take the island, and people get in debt. They even go to jail. They go to court. They get behind. They lose their family. And I've seen this. They lose everything.
Hmm.
And coaches are just completely self-serving. And the way I coach people is keep the job, have health insurance for yourself and your family. Don't get into survival mode. Don't do anything unethical, immoral, or illegal. Find something that you're passionate about and create a six-figure side hustle. And then you can either have multiple income streams. The average one percenter has 7 to 10, or you can eventually leave that job when the side hustle is making a comfortable living. But I don't believe people should just jump ship and invest everything in something and have that survival do or die mentality, because it seems like your philosophy of sales coaching is very similar to mine. If you come from desperation and you come from neediness, people are going to smell that and they're not going to want to buy from you. So I teach people to come from contribution, not desperation. And people are very sales averse. And if they feel that you're just trying to say or do anything to make a sale, they're just going to run the other way. But if you really ask good questions and they feel that you're trying to help them, then they are more likely to be your customer.
I 100% agree. The words I use, you use one of them, is like, sales is about helping people, right?
Yeah.
Let's figure out if we can help each other. Let's figure out if there's a fit. And if there's not, okay, there's some time in the future, maybe not now. But if we can't help you, there's no reason to try to put a round peg into a square hole. And I think it's the responsibility of the salesperson to accept that and be the driver of that. And once we start sounding salesy, we sound like that proverbial, when you ask somebody to describe the salesperson, they immediately describe the either the used car sales guy with the plaid jacket and the gold chains, or the insurance sales guy with the clip-on tie and the short sleeve white shirt. And those are just stereotypes that exist, but that's what my purpose is, to elevate the profession so that we are more consultative. We ask questions. We try to help. I completely agree with what you're saying. Is there an area, and this might be a challenging question, but
I like challenging.
in your business right now, you've gone through levels and changed, and you keep going. It sounds to me like you're somebody that's always looking to level up and to figure out a next way to be helpful and for yourself. Is there an area in your own business where you'd like to take that next step or have better results?
Yeah, there's two things that I'm looking to do, and I just invested in an appointment setting team. I'm looking for more leads, just like any, good sales manager. And I'm looking for systems, because my goal in having money is not to have money so I can buy a job. A lot of people own businesses, but they don't have any time freedom. So I call that a buy a job.
Yep.
I want to have money so I can have freedom. The goal is to have
Isn't that the same thing though, right? We're coming
yeah,
from that place. It allows us to be and do the things that we want to do.
right.
For
But
good.
it's a lot of people have money, but they don't have freedom. And that is, to me, that is the goal. Like money and systems. That's why I'm looking to figure out now my business more systems, so I have more freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want, and with who I want. In the first 3 years of launching my coaching business, I have been pretty much, even though I'm a burnout coach and I'm not burned out because I know how to live holistically within these 7 areas, I've been hustling, more than I ever have, just to get this business off the ground. And I am really looking to systematize everything.
Yeah. And it's a common thing. We've focused on doing a good job. We focused on our clients to be able to provide value to them. And then one day we stick our head up and it's like, I know how to do this. I do it every day, but I haven't been able to create an SOP, or we haven't taken the time to put that system in place so that it becomes easier and more scalable to do
Yes,
it.
that's the word, scalable.
Yeah.
That
And
is my next cut in my business is to scale.
well, that is and the trick is to break those SOPs down. And for salespeople, that is so hard to really look at it and create the steps, right? Because we just do it. We don't think about it. But it really takes one of those power hours you're talking about to really break down those steps over a period of time. But once you do it, it becomes, oh, and then you can teach other people how to do it. You can put that as part of your programs. There's some great value there.
Yeah.
So I think what results are you most proud of in your life over the last your career? I mean, there's probably a bunch of them, but if you had to pick one, was it the book, fulfilling that little objective with your father? Or was it something else?
It wasn't the book, but that was a huge thing. Gosh, what career highlight am I most proud of? I would say being voted Life Coach of the Year by the International Association of Top Professionals.
That
Um, I
that's
was
impressive.
only, thank you. I was only a life coach for a couple years, and they reached out to me, and I got to go to a beautiful gala at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, and I saw myself as big as a movie screen, and I got this beautiful trophy, and I was just blown away that anybody even knew I was a life coach because I'd only been doing it a few years. And I really feel like that event and just the caliber of people there and getting that award really built my confidence, and it really helped me be more well known in this space.
Validation from your peers. That's awesome. Love it.
Yes, thank you.
Especially when it's like it comes out of the blue. Maybe not comes out of the blue isn't the right way to look at that, but it wasn't something you were striving for. Just somebody recognized it, and you didn't go looking for it. That's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Um, so let's talk a little bit about your 777 challenge. Like help us understand that. We're going to have some links in the show notes, and we're going to have ways for people to get a hold of you. But I think that's something we should highlight.
Yeah, so my 7 pillars of abundance are spirituality. I believe you should have a morning practice that sets the tone for your day, some kind of a connection to the divine, whatever that is for you. The second pillar of abundance is fitness. I believe that moving your body changes your biochemistry. It gives you the energy and the confidence to face your day. The third pillar of abundance is emotional. And we talked a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Switching from scarcity to abundance, from fear to love, having the right emotional set point is so important. The next pillar is romantic, having a partner that believes in you, or if you're a busy CEO, like the people who listen to Sales and Cigars, making time to have a date night at least once a week is my recommendation. The next pillar is mental, which is exactly what you're doing right now by listening to this podcast, working on your mental growth, your mindset. Mental could be learning a new skill, listening to an awesome podcast like this. The next one is social, making time to socialize with people that are like-minded, that have achieved what you want and believe in your goals and dreams. And finally, financial. And everybody thinks financial is what you focus on. You make money, you make money, you make money. Then you can hire a personal trainer, look really hot, attract the love of your life, go on spiritual retreats, socialize with other couples, do your mindset work, and be happy. But in my paradigm, finances are the last piece of the puzzle to click into place. So my offer for you guys, and this is a very inexpensive amount to invest in yourself. It's called the 777 Challenge. Each day for 7 days, I'm going to give you a tip, tool, or strategy to get that level of abundance to a level 10. And after 7 days, you'll have all 7 pillars of abundance in alignment so that you can level up in whatever it is you want to achieve. So I've used the 7 pillars of abundance to manifest my soulmate, get in the best shape of my life, find amazing investment deals. So whatever it is you want, I'm sure you can invest $7 in having it. And this is all going to be in a link tree, that link tree link that Walter is going to share with you guys. But that is my challenge for you guys, to do the 777 challenge, and then message me on LinkedIn or Instagram. LinkedIn is Rebecca Whitman. Facebook is Rebecca Whitman. Instagram is at Rebecca E. Whitman. You can also message me through my website, Rebecca Elizabeth Whitman with a Z. And I can't wait to see if you take the challenge. And if you don't want to take the challenge, you can just go to my website and take a quiz and see where you're in and out of alignment in these 7 areas. Some areas you guys are crushing, and the other areas need a little bit support. And this free quiz will take you 2 minutes, and you'll kind of get an assessment of where you are in life.
Well, they could do both, right? They could go
Yes,
do the
do both.
challenge and then really focus on get some awareness of where they really have the balance, or where they're set up, or where they have some challenges to work through. And then the 777 challenge will help them, get back on track in those areas, and maybe go a little farther in the other areas. I love it.
That's why you're a master sales strategist, because this is a new way for me to pitch it. First, you take the quiz, you figure out what's working and what's not working, and then you use the inexpensive $7 training to level up where you need to level up. Exactly, Walter. I'm going to use that from now on.
Well, it's how I model my business. It's hard to go figure out where we should start unless we know where we are, and everybody is unique. And I think the other comment I had on that is that I like the fact that the financial is sort of the foundational piece, but at the end, because if you start to get the other components in alignment, right, that financial abundance, that those opportunities start to open up, because they've always been there. We just didn't see them. We weren't open to going and grabbing them. So I think that's go to the website. We're going to have the website in the show notes. Go click that show note, go do the quiz, and then go do the 777. I think that, if you have any thoughts about making any improvement in your life, I think we can invest $7 in that. I don't see how that's a life changer, right? It's a freaking cup of coffee at Starbucks. Right. At least a fancy cup of coffee at Starbucks. So, Rebecca, I appreciate you. I'm focused on the Elizabeth because my mother-in-law is Elizabeth with a Z, right? And that's where I went. So, Rebecca, I appreciate you taking the time. Great advice, and I hope some of these listeners get out there and do your challenge.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Walter. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks. I love sharing secrets when I figure them out. That's why I created this program called Sales Hiring Secrets. Early in my sales management career, I was terrible at hiring salespeople. They failed more often than not. Then I discovered the secret that you can't hire salespeople the same way you hire everyone else. That's why everyone fails. In Sales Hiring Secrets, I'm going to teach you all of the secrets to understanding what you really need your salesperson to do, how to attract an ideal candidate with a unique job posting. I'll teach you how to save time and money by only interviewing candidates that are a good fit. I'll share the secrets to an interviewing process that ensures success. And the one big secret that everybody gets wrong is how to onboard a good salesperson so they ramp up quickly and stick around. I'm doing the Sales Hiring Secrets program on a monthly basis. You can click the link below to figure out when the next Sales Hiring Secrets program is scheduled, and you can sign up. Click the link below, and you get all the details. And it's designed for you to bring your entire team so you can get everybody up to speed quickly. Thanks. Look forward to seeing you on the other side.